Greetings from the beach in front of Playa Bonita beach houses, Playa Bonita, Dominican Republic. I'd like to talk today about airspaces in the Caribbean outside of the U.S. territories. So this video is designed for pilots that are thinking about coming down the Caribbean islands who are used to FAA airspace, and I want to show some of the differences in the airspaces that you may encounter. So it's the first thing is good to understand some ICAO terminology. And ICAO breaks the entire world into what is shown on charts as FIRs, and those are flight information regions. And those flight information regions might be broken down into zones with different frequencies. The Caribbean is broken into 14 flight information regions. And a flight information region will go from a depicted altitude to flight level 195. And above flight level 195, we'll have upper information regions, but we won't be discussing those because we're mostly dealing with piston airplanes, and we'll be flying below flight level 195 for the purpose of this video. So, flight information region has two available services. The first one is FIS. FIS is Flight Information Service. Flight Information Service, we are provided information. That information could include airport information, weather information, traffic information. But what is not provided is guaranteed separation service. The other level of service that we could receive within the flight information region would be alerting service. With alerting service, we are guaranteed separation. So, then we look at airspace in and around airports. Now, outside of the United States, you don't see Bravo and Charlie airspace around airports. What we see is what are called control zones, control areas, or that are sometimes referred to as terminal maneuvering areas. So, a control zone will be the arrival, departure, and pattern area of an airport. A control area or terminal maneuvering area will be airport to airport service or airport to en route service, similar to approach and departure control in the United States. Keep in mind, when we see altitudes on the chart depicting heights, we will see them sometimes in flight levels, even lower than what you would anticipate. An example would be Princess Juliana, the class Delta control zone. You'll notice in the brackets FL55. Well, that is flight level 55 or 5,500. Because in the Caribbean, unlike the United States where our transition altitude to flying pressure altitudes is 18,000 feet or flight level 180, you will see some transition altitudes in the Caribbean as low as 2,500 feet. So anything above the transition altitude, which in the case of Princess Juliana's area is 5,000 feet, anything larger than 5,000 will be shown as a flight level. So, another difference in airspace in outside of the United States in the Caribbean would be Class G airspace boundaries. In most places, Class G is only going to go to 1,000 feet AGL. And when there are exceptions, such as the TD Roosevelt Airport, they will show a circle around it and they will tell us that the G extends to 2,500 MSL. So let's put our airspace knowledge now into action. And what we'll do is we'll look at a Mike Delta Charlie Yankee, which is Samana El Cate Airport, would be the home airport here when we are in this part of the Dominican Republic. We'll see a dashed blue line around the airport itself with 40 in brackets. That would be our Class D control zone to 4,000 feet MSL. Then we also see a thin, solid blue line that slightly circles the south and southeast side of the airport. Then it heads northwest until it meets the flight information region boundary. Then if we look at that flight information region boundary further to the west, we'll see that same thin blue line then head southeast. And then it will head back. It'll meet another boundary, thin blue boundary. And then we will see in there Cebu CTA. So that is our control area or our en route, similar to approach and departure control. And that will, in fact, when we talk to them on their frequencies, which we see in the box here, will be 119.0 usually, or 119.95. They will be referred to as approach. And we see in the box that that goes from 2,000 AGL to 15,500. That is Class D airspace technically, and we are controlled in it, so we would be talking to approach. Then we will see to the north and northeast of the airport, on the other side of the CTA thin boundary line, it tells us that we would be in the Santo Domingo flight information region. And it tells us from the ground to 14,000 feet, we are Class G. And from 14,000 feet to flight level 195, we are Class D. What does that mean? That's the level of service we can expect at those altitudes. Below 14,000 feet, we will only receive flight information service, not guaranteed separation. From 14,000 feet to flight level 195, we could receive alerting service and receive separation. And then also in the approach area or the control zone area, it's from 2,000 AGL. We didn't mention what happens below that. So remember, from 1,000 AGL and below, it would be Class Gulf. And then from 1,000 AGL to 2,000 AGL, we would be similar to Class Echo. So, thanks so much for watching this video about airspace. If you're interested in flying in the Caribbean, either doing dual in an airplane down here, or if you're interested in a guided flight tour in your own airplane, be sure to visit flightschoolforyou.com or check out our Facebook or Instagram and talk to myself or to Arno, and we will help you out best we can. Thanks again for watching. Talk to you next time.